Justin Bieber's latest project, Swag 2, has drawn a lot of attention not only for its sound, but also for the messages hidden in its lyrics. Many fans are convinced that at least 5 of the songs on the album are directed at Selena Gomez. From the very first track, there are lines that seem too personal to ignore, sparking a wave of discussion online. The song that immediately caught everyone's eye is called Speed Demon, and listeners quickly pointed out connections to his past with Selena. But this isn't the only track stirring curiosity. There are several others that come across as softer, more emotional, and even affectionate. What makes this even more fascinating is that Selena herself has made similar references in her own music, which makes the parallels harder to dismiss. Later in this breakdown, I'll touch on the most surprising overlap, one involving angel wings, a symbol both of them seem to have used in their songs. But before that, let's start from the beginning so you don't miss the details. The opening track, Speed Demon, is where the speculation really begins. Let's take a closer look at the lyrics. Bieber sings about not needing a reason to stall or call someone, claiming he only has a few people to talk to, and that it's not you. He even adds that he doesn't have the patience to argue anymore, flipping the conversation toward independence and moving forward. He then suggests he has plenty of reasons to fight and drive over the situation, but instead chooses to put his pride aside and turn it into something new. In another part, he points out that while someone may say they miss him, he wasn't missing them, insisting he's focused on something new and improved. Now, compare that with a track from Selena's recent album. In Call Me When You Break Up, she sings about wanting to be the first person on someone's mind when they wake up. She mentions missing the long nights of staying up talking and sharing dreams of forever. Even though Selena later explained that this song was inspired by a friendship, the lyrics still sparked speculation. Many believe Bieber's Speed Demon is a direct reply, especially since he makes it clear he sees no reason to call or talk to someone anymore. The lyrics get even sharper when Bieber brags that he won, without clearly saying what he means. Fans immediately linked this to Selena's social media post with Benny Blanco, where she captioned a kissing photo with the words, "I won." That moment had already grabbed attention, but when Bieber echoed the same idea in Speed Demon, it felt like his own version of victory. This left fans wondering if he was talking about winning in love, about their breakup, or even about his career. Either way, it didn't go unnoticed. Later in the track, Bieber shifts the focus beyond relationships. He describes having a lot of mountains to climb and leaving baggage behind. He says something stronger than himself is helping him build a new path and giving him energy. For many listeners, this sounds like him reflecting on his career struggles, the pressure of fame, and the need to move forward no matter what. Then comes a verse that seems to target the critics. He mentions how people once thought he was out of his mind, but are now singing along to his music. He says those who doubted him have ended up witnessing his redemption. The image he paints is one of triumph. Fans on their feet, clapping along while he wears his heart on his sleeve, proud of how far he's come. But it's not all about the haters. Bieber also includes a verse that feels like a defense of his current relationship, addressing those who question its sincerity. He says that the love he receives every day assures him that he's enough, suggesting that this relationship gives him stability. Interestingly, Selena had once touched on the same subject in one of her songs, singing about finally understanding what real love feels like and encouraging others to try it. The overlap between the two messages makes people wonder if Bieber was responding directly to her once again. But not every song on Swag 2 sounds like a challenge or a reply. Some of them come across as tender and almost vulnerable. The second track in this discussion, Witchya, has a tone that feels less combative and more heartfelt. In it, Bieber talks about how difficult it can be to let someone go. That naturally raises the question, is he singing about the struggle of moving forward with his wife Hailey? Or is he looking back at someone from his past that he couldn't quite let go of? The lyrics highlight his frustration with memories that won't fade away. He compares them to a slideshow stuck on repeat, playing in his head no matter how much he wishes it were easy to move on. He repeats the thought several times, admitting it should have been simple to let go, but it wasn't. By this point, listeners can't help but notice that the album weaves together hints of frustration, confidence, and affection, all circling back to moments that seem to connect with Selena. Whether intentional or not, the timing, the phrasing, and even the similarities to her own songs create a puzzle that fans are determined to piece together. Back in 2022, Selena Gomez teamed up with Coldplay for a moving song about how hard it is to let someone go. The track struck a chord with listeners because of its emotional honesty, and when you place it side by side with Justin's Witchya, the similarities become hard to ignore. It feels almost as if both of them were processing the same emotions of heartbreak and the struggle to move forward, just through different melodies. Was it just coincidence, or could there be something unspoken being communicated through their music? That's the puzzle fans are still trying to solve. In Coldplay's collaboration, Selena sang about the storms weathered and the challenges of trying to continue life without someone important. She described calling mathematicians only to be told that love equals pain, and she admitted the deep ache of having to let somebody go. The lyrics paint a picture of sorrow, but also of turning pain into art. Now when you line that up against Bieber's words in Witchya, The overlap in themes feels too close to dismiss as random. Both songs carry the weight of loss and the same hesitation about truly letting go. But before we get to what might be the strongest coincidence of all, let's stop at another track on Justin's album called Open Up Your Heart. This one takes on a tone of confession and forgiveness. In the lyrics, Justin admits he was foolish, begs the other person to open up, and even says that everything is forgiven. That immediately sparks curiosity. Who exactly is he talking about here? Could it be Selena? Could it be Haley? Or is it directed at someone else from his past? In the song, Justin describes seeing visions, realizing he's been a fool, and asking for honesty. He sings about forgiveness, crying, and being a mess without that person. The lyrics are raw, almost like a late-night admission of guilt. The striking part is how much they echo one of Selena's past songs where she described dreaming of him, sharing tears, and finding forgiveness between them. The similarities once again push fans to question whether these musical moments are connected, and this isn't the only time forgiveness comes up on the album. In another track, I Think You're Special, Justin circles back to the same theme. This time, the message feels broader, almost like advice to anyone carrying regret. He reassures the listener that they're already forgiven, that they don't need to chase after it. He talks about taking the power you've been given, breaking through restlessness, and finding peace by looking inward. The recurring theme of forgiveness across different songs makes it hard to shake the thought that it's all tied to one central figure in his life. Whether that person is Selena or not, the repetition adds weight to the theory. Now we arrive at the moment many fans call the most striking coincidence, the one that feels impossible to overlook. In Justin's song, Don't Wanna, there's a specific lyric that sounds almost identical to one Selena used in her own music from her Revelation era. Justin sings about someone losing their wings after a breakup, only for him to show up again at their door. The imagery of wings here is powerful, and when you compare it to Selena's lyric about her wings being cut during a past relationship, the connection is startling. Selena had already woven this symbolism into her art years earlier. During her emotional 2014 performance of The Heart Wants What It Wants at the American Music Awards, she wore a costume with angel wings, a detail that became unforgettable for fans. Then, in late 2015, Bieber had angel wings tattooed on his neck, which many believe was a tribute to Selena, whom he once called his angel. Now, with both of them including references to wings in their recent music, it almost feels like history echoing itself. That theme of wings, losing them, cutting them, honoring them, runs deep in their shared story. The symbolism alone would be enough to catch people's attention, but the fact that both artists used it in such personal contexts makes the coincidence seem deliberate. It ties back to their relationship, their breakups, and the lingering impact they've both admitted to in different ways. In Don't Wanna, there's another verse that makes things even more mysterious. Bieber sings, "I don't want to give a, I know what it should be." The meaning isn't crystal clear, but the timing and context have led many fans to interpret it as him acknowledging something about his past with Selena. To make it even more intriguing, this line surfaced around the time of Selena's wedding to Benny Blanco. For some, that timing felt like the perfect soundtrack to such a major life moment, whether intentional or not. All of this leads to one conclusion: the overlapping lyrics, the repeated themes of forgiveness, love, loss, and wings. It's too much for fans to chalk up as random. Whether these songs are subtle messages, private nods, or just uncanny coincidences, they've given listeners endless material to analyze. And if you thought this was the end of the story, it isn't. In the next video, there's even more to unpack. The connections between Justin's Oh Man and one of Selena's tracks that wasn't covered here, Haley's quiet jab at her own husband, and a response from Selena right after Bieber's album release. So, don't forget to turn on notifications, leave your thoughts in the comments, and drop a like to keep the channel going. Your support keeps the discussion alive, and trust me, you'll want to see what comes next.